I'm going to start the presentation by showing a minute clip from the video. On that note from Sean, I hope none of you are too nervous about it.
You want to listen to some music?
Right, so sorry for the stark contrast of themes from some of the other presentations. It's a good way to get your attention, I guess. But I'm going to start by giving a short synopsis of the movie. My main character is played by Graham, who's a third year here, who you saw with the gun. He plays a gentleman who has a condition called cataplexy, which is a neurological condition that often is paired with narcolepsy. And what happens when somebody has cataplexy is a muscular reaction to strong emotions. So it can be anywhere from the weakening of facial muscles to an entire body collapse, which is what my character has. It's sort of the worst case scenario. And so people who have this go through mental training to suppress their stronger emotions. And while this leads to fewer reactions, it also leads to a very limited emotional capacity. So his father, who's played by Andy Griffiths, who's a staff member here at COA, sees an advantage in this in eliminating some business associates. So he sort of turns his son into an eliminator, I guess you could say. So that's what you witnessed in that video clip there.
You want to listen to some music?
We don't have to watch that again. Let's just, there we go. To give some context about myself, I came to COA for marine biology, actually marine biology and art. I didn't know where I wanted to go with either one, and obviously one is more heavily weighted now than the other. I still really am interested by marine biology and the concepts that I learned while I was here, but in a classroom setting I quickly realized that it was not what I wanted to do, and art was. So it was just a matter in my 4 years here of narrowing down what exactly I wanted to do with the art while I was here. I think my interest in movies has grown quite a bit in the past 4 years. I've been watching movies for my entire life, and I've always, I've always felt very comfortable while watching movies and being sort of allowed into this another world with different characters who you've never met before. But by the end of a 2-hour movie, you really feel like you know. And I think for most people who watch movies, that's why they do it. And if you don't watch movies, I'm sorry, you're probably rather bored with my presentation. But for people who do watch movies, I think the real reason that we watch movies is to be allowed into these other places with these other people who we've never met before, but who we can start to understand by the end of an 1.5 or 2-hour movie. I think that's a really powerful thing, and I am excited to start to be a part of that with my studies here. So I started at COA with animation with Nancy Andrews, who has become my academic advisor and also my project advisor for my senior project. And animation was the first narrative video class that I took where I got to create my own story, completely up to me, and then produce a video. And that went from animation to documentary and finally to fictional narrative storytelling in the form of live action here, like you see. And that process took about 2 years for me to figure out with the help and advice of Nancy Andrews. And being at COA, I realize, has been exactly what I needed for this field. It's given me sets. Like you can see, this is turrets. I'm sure most of you recognize that from down the hill. Excellent sets here at COA. and actors, as you can see as well, and a production team, an audio recorder, some really great people to bounce ideas off of and to help really refine my story, and also an advisor to help me really finish up the product. And also in my last term here, I have been a part of the Hatchery, which is a business venture program here on campus, and Juan mentioned it as well. And it was sort of the natural choice for me after completing my senior project. I had a product and I needed to figure out what to do with it and who to give it to, who to show it to, and the Hatchery has been phenomenal in helping me figure that out. They've given me advisors who have been instrumental in helping me realize where to put my video. Nancy Schaefer, the executive director of the Tribeca Film Festival, I've been in direct contact with, and she actually got me down there in New York for a week as a volunteer at the festival, which is extremely helpful in sort of figuring out that festival vibe. And also, in terms of financials, the Hatchery has been very illustrative in providing me with the opportunity to figure out what exactly I will need to make to support myself after school. And that's been pretty scary, actually, figuring out how much I need to make and what I need to do to support myself. But I feel like that puts me in a really great position at this age. Even though it's scary, a lot of people don't get to figure that out until farther on and through some hardships. So I'm hoping it can help me come out on top, maybe. And something that has stuck with me throughout the Hatchery program is something that Jay Friedlander said, that nothing is permanent. Everything's always changing after school. Your position's changing, people you know are changing, opportunities are changing, so you can never plan for one outcome. You always have to plan for more than one. And COA, I feel like, has really helped me be prepared for this, because in every class I've taken, I've been encouraged to look at one concept in multiple points of view. I think that's exactly what I need to do after graduating, because I can't plan for one outcome. COA has really helped me regard one concept with different points of view, and so I feel ready to adapt wherever I am and whatever I'm doing to what I need to do to support myself. Thank you. Cody. Cody. Yeah.
How have you learned at COA to tell your story? And when you're telling your story, how do you incorporate different points of view into your story on film?
Usually, I have an idea or a concept that I then build upon. So obviously, it's up to me to come up with that idea. And being at COA has given me people who I can tell that idea to and then get, multiple points of view on that one idea and build into a narrative. So with my senior project, I had an idea, cataplexy, which I heard about a number of years ago, and I've been wanting to make something about cataplexy because I find it fascinating. And so I started writing a script in the winter, I believe, right before I started the senior project. And from there, I handed the script to a couple of people, Colin, who's phenomenal with film and anything film related, and Nancy as well, and sort of helped me refine and take out parts that people wouldn't be interested in and added parts in that people would be interested in. And it's really about pleasing the audience. So that's where I find the most valuable information is once I have a concept, what is the audience going to want to know about that? And so in terms of multiple perspectives, I think that multiple perspectives are built into the one perspective that I portray in my work. Thanks.